Is mic on? We have got to stop telling people you look great when they don't look great. It's become just like, how you doing? People, you look great, but they don't look great. Or people say, boy, you look the same. When you don't look the same. Like, we've got to go back to being honest. Like, I miss the days when people would say, oh, looks like you put on a few pounds. That's how I knew I put on a few pounds. Now I don't know. Now I just have to, I have to rely on myself. I can't rely on myself. My brain plays tricks on myself. I'll be up on the scale and say, well, it's muscle, or it's this, or it's that, or who knows what. Please tell me how I look. I want to know. That's the only way I know if I need to lose weight or if I need to sleep more. You look your age. By the way, everybody says I look my age, but everyone I date says I don't act my age. There you go. What's Wrong with Orny Adams? Episode 52. He's got great big eyes. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name, Kev? Orny Adams. Put it together and what do you got? Switching pens, going to a red pen. It's just me all alone here. Big Yellow coming to you from Los Angeles, California, where the weather's hot, the sun is out, and I will begin to sweat soon. I was supposed to have a guest on tomorrow, but guess what? I gotta go to Atlanta and work. I'm shooting a movie. So, yeah, here we are. Let's talk about, I think I'm gonna call this podcast Need to Know. K-N-E-E-D, to know. Why is that? Well, because I injured my knee. I'll get into that in a second. My name is Orny Adams. I am your host. The podcast is called What's Wrong with Orny Adams. So I think it's important to have Orny Adams here. And then we find out what's wrong. And what's wrong with Orny Adams today is my knee. What's wrong with the world? You want me to go through everything? We can start with the old things, global warming. We can start with the fact that the entire world is just crazy. There's a war. People are being murdered for no reason. There's, what else? What else? High oil prices, inflation, just every single day. Nothing's healthy. Even if you go on TikTok and you just scroll, you do this, you take what they feed you. That's what's wrong with social media, by the way, is people just consume what is in front of them. Like, here it is. Here's your phone. What is Facebook giving me? What is Instagram giving me? What is TikTok? What is Twitter? And I will not seek out. I will only see. This will be like going to a restaurant. You sit down and they put a plate of food in front of you and they don't ask you what you want. There's other plates out there. There's other dishes out there. There's other things you can be consuming instead of just being lazy. You pieces of lazy crap. This is why I don't fit into an algorithm. My name's Orny, not Orny Githam. I don't fit into an algorithm. I never have. That's why I wasn't the most popular kid in high school, because I don't play to the algorithm. I don't play to what's... You see people on TikTok, one song comes out, everybody starts dancing the same song, doing the same move. Bunch of hacks. And that's what gets seen. They are programming us to be the same. Be the same, you will be rewarded. Be different, and maybe get through. I haven't. I mean, I've talked about this before. Like in high school, I didn't wear what everybody else wore. I didn't say the expression. Like if you ever hear me say, "What's up, dog?" Yeah, I'm mocking that. That's a little bit extra. I'm mocking you. I like people that don't follow the trends. That's what I am. I'm already off track. I don't even know what I was going to talk about. But with TikTok, look at my videos. They're too long. The other thing is, it's become people doing stupid things, putting their bodies on the line, and then other people probably try and do it and get hurt. And then there's a lot of pranking. I'm sick of the pranking. Stop using innocent people in the supermarkets and stores, people out on benches enjoying their days, as extras in your TikTok video. There used to just be a show called Punked. And even then it was mean-spirited. This is mean-spirited stuff. The world has become so mean-spirited. So it's that. Stunts. A lot of fighting. How many videos do we have to see of people in the stands at sporting events fighting? People on the streets fighting. Road rage fighting. 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 Everybody's fighting. Everybody's kung fu fighting. And then the third thing is very attractive people dancing. For me, it's always women because I'm not watching the men. So now the internal data says send Orny Adams beautiful women dancing. Well, it's starting to feel a little creepy. So okay, here's what you're scrolling and you got oh, look at this, a beautiful woman. Oh, look at a fight. Let's watch this fight. What's going on? It tells me to wait for it. That's another thing. Wait for it. Half the time you wait for it and it doesn't pay off. Wait for it on social media should be regulated. And I'd like to be in charge of regulating wait for it. I'd like to be the one that says this is verified, wait for it. You know? So you go, oh, Orny is verified, this is worth waiting for. How many times you wait for it? Wait for it's another form of clickbait. I am campaigning today to be, in fact, I would love this job. I would love this job. I would do it for all forms of social media. I give you a badge, verified, worth waiting for by Orny Adams. And then you know it's worth sticking on. Half the time you stick around and it doesn't even get to what they say is going to happen. Like, whatever. It's just, I could give you a million examples. So there's wait for it, beautiful woman, wait for it, beautiful woman, a fight, a punk video, and then, oh, here's Orny Adams and his boring clip of him talking or on the set of Teen Wolf. I mean, I just can't imagine. How am I to compete in that terrain? And the answer is no. I can't. That's why I don't fit into algorithms. Next week, I am in Cleveland, Ohio at Hilarities. I'll be there doing shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Hilarities. I love this club. I love Nick, the owner. I like the people that keep coming back and seeing shows, the staffs. They treat me well. I will be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Hilarities. I hope you can make it. Tickets are on sale now. I should start posting links. I should post this video. I mean, if you saw this video and you said, wow, that's Orny Adams. He's in a Shasta trailer somewhere in the world, but next week he's going to come to Cleveland to do shows at Hilarities, the comedy club. And we can see him in person. We can touch him. Oh, look at this. I touched Orny Adams. I can see him right in close. And by the way, stay away from me. I don't want to be tackled on stage or slapped. All right? What is going on? And we'll get to my knee. I was going to start with my knee. And by the way, let me say something to the people watching. You look great. You look great. You don't even look your age. You look great for your age. I look great for my age, but I don't act great for my age. So says the people I date. And that's why I stay young, because I don't act my age. Okay? That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So I was supposed to have a guest on tomorrow. What happened was I got called to go back to Teen Wolf the movie to shoot another scene. So I'm shooting on Friday. So I had to cancel it. And now I'm doing an impromptu stripped down Orny, no clips, in the trailer, in the big yellow Shasta trailer in Los Angeles, talking to you directly, to the people at home, and letting you know what's up. What is going on? So I'll be in Atlanta shooting, and let's see. I shot last week, and I have to say this. Let me settle back and talk to you at home. And thank you to my Patreon subscribers too. I appreciate the people that support me, and the people that watch us on YouTube, and all the people on social media that are supporting me. And I think next week I will reveal how much money I have made on TikTok. And it may shock you. And now I'm monetizing Instagram. I mean, you talk about not acting my age, huh? So I have to say this about Teen Wolf and shooting in general. I love it. I really do. I love it. It's a lot of sitting around and doing nothing. I see people getting grumpy about it. And I think, we're being paid to sit here and do nothing. Could there be anything better in the world? I know there's people listening to this podcast. They have to go to work every day. They have to punch a clock. They collect an hourly. And then other people have the greatest jobs in the world, and yet they're still miserable. And I'm talking about me and stand-up comedy. I love... I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it this much, but I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy hanging out with the actors, with the crew, with the people in the stands. If there are people in the stands for this particular movie that do the background, I enjoy every single person on the set who loves being there. They love their jobs. And I just feel so fortunate. And I'm thinking, I should probably, because I feel technically I've gotten better at acting. I know when to look up. I know how to play to the camera. I know how to pace. I know how to give with my eyes at times. And I feel like I've gotten better. And maybe, just maybe, I would be open to working on other films and TV shows. Certainly would love to develop my own, like most people that are in this business and self-centered and completely unaware, like me, believe that we should have entire shows developed around our character, because people lie to us and say, you look great, you're so interesting, you should have a whole show just developed around your life. And it turns out that everybody feels that way, and everybody's disgruntled, and that's why 90% of Los Angeles is miserable, because it's the biggest... what would you call this? It's like campus. It's a campus. It's a business campus. It's an office building that's outside. 90% of the people are in this stupid business, and they're not working, and they're miserable. And then people like me that are working still want more. No, nobody's ever happy. Nobody's ever happy. So I shot in Atlanta last week. Did a few days in a row, 14-hour days. Exhausted, and I had Thursday off, and I just had to sleep. Well, I'll tell you why. And then I flew to Halifax, Canada, and if anybody's ever flown to Halifax, Canada, you know how much that sucks. Air Canada, I cannot figure out for the life of me. I purchased some premium seats, and then I got kicked back into middle seats somewhere, and nobody could explain how this happened, and nobody's refunding my money. And you have to take 2 flights, and you have to upload all this information. Your COVID vaccines, a COVID test. You have to do this paper and swear this, and you're like, oh, I'm just going up there for 48 hours to shoot a TV show. And by the way, let me brag. I shot a movie and a TV show in the same week. And I will probably never say that again in my career. So I just wanted to say that, how fortunate I am. So I shot the Halifax Comedy Festival. I closed the final show, the gala they call it, and I got up there. Oh, shoot. I should play this. Okay, this isn't going to go into the... unless I do Bluetooth. Am I connected? I'm going to do this really fast. This is me before my show at the Halifax Comedy Festival, because I did something that I've done before at the Montreal Comedy Festival when I'm doing a TV taping, and that's not prepare. Because I feel like I prepare by just performing every weekend. Like next weekend, I'm at Cleveland, Hilarities, or wherever I am. Every weekend, I'm somewhere else doing show. That's preparing. So what's the difference? Is a camera there? Great. So I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to show up, and I'm going to look at the audience. I say all this stuff, and I'm going to decide what I'm going to do when I'm there. And I'm going to watch the other comedians and make sure I don't talk about stuff that they talked about, because I'm on at the end. So where's the... how do we connect to Bluetooth? Do I just press this down? Okay, there. Let's see. Roadcaster is now discoverable. Okay. Connect me. Okay. Connection unsuccessful. I have to forget this device. How wonderful, this technology. And then it's not even going to be worth listening to. Okay. Okay. Rodecaster Pro. Big shout out for Rodecaster Pro, and they deserve it. Okay, I am connected. So let's see this. And I said there were no clips, so it turns out there is a clip because I totally forgot that I had done a clip. I was in the hotel room before the show, and I wanted to sort of go over what I feel before show. So playing this off of my iPhone, I think. I'm in Halifax, Canada, and I'm recording a TV show tonight for the Halifax Comedy Festival where I do stand-up comedy, 15 to 20 minutes. I've never been this relaxed or at ease in my entire career, which is either a huge accomplishment, a milestone, or a huge mistake. But I've prepared. I've made blocks of things I can talk about, and I want to treat it like I do when I'm at a club. I go into a club. I have a rough idea of what I want to talk about, some new stuff, some old stuff, how I'm going to put my portion together. And then I suss out the crowd. I look at the crowd. I look at what sort of reactions they have to other people. And then I sort of get a better sense of what I'm going to do. And then I get up on stage and nothing I planned comes out, but it seems to work. So instead of sticking to the rigidity of a set list, or I need to go from A to B to C to D all the way to Z, good night, don't forget to do this. I'm also don't think, like in the past, I thought a bit was so precious I had to do it. I don't feel that way anymore. So it's like, if I'm doing 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going in with 30. And what comes out, comes out. And what doesn't come out, well, it's okay. I'll save it for another day. So I'll let you know how it goes. It's April 30th, 2022. Orny Adams. I'm in Halifax, Canada, in my hotel room going to the show. And I love the people of Halifax. It was an amazing show. I love being on a theater stage. I love playing to the cameras. I love just moving about. I feel important. I'm like that. You ever see a dog that has that strut and has that confidence? I'm that dog. I'm a dog strutting, and I know it. I know I got it together. I'm that horse that walks out onto the track and just knows I got the good. I just love it. I love it. I wish I was on a stage like that every night. Now, I don't wish that somebody would charge me. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. Dave Chappelle last night at the Hollywood Bowl. I don't know the whole story, but I got to be honest with you. The whole thing just makes me sad. It makes me sad that somebody would charge a comedian. That makes me sad. And then they kick the crap out of the guy. That made me sad. The whole thing makes me sad. The whole world, it's sad. War, sad. Inflation, sad. People can't afford homes, sad. Starvation, sad. People can't choose what they want to do with their bodies, sad, sad, sad. Sad world. I don't want to get political, but, it's... What's with all the outbursts? People just... That's the other thing you see on social media. Outbursts. People on planes. Yelling. Then everybody has to get off the plane because this one person won't comply with whatever the new rule is. And now they're not even embarrassed that everybody has to get off the plane. There's no guardrails for human behavior anymore. People just act out and don't care. When I was a kid, you could honk at somebody that did something and they go, sorry. They would actually be embarrassed. Like they didn't signal. They cut you. Sorry. Now, nobody cares. Nobody's embarrassed. Nobody cares about their behavior, how they affect other people. We've become such a selfish society. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. So, you want me to go all over the world and make you laugh? You think you deserve it? That's where my mind is. I wake up some days and go and think, the world doesn't deserve it. I love to do it. And when I'm on stage, like at Halifax, and to see their faces, this is beautiful. This is where I'm meant to be. This is zen. I'm not thinking about my phone. I'm not thinking about the stock market or the economy. I'm not thinking about anything. My health, I'm on stage. I'm present. I love it. And what I said, what I just played you on that clip, and what I said on that clip, which is really important, is no bit is so precious that if I left it out, like, I'm not kidding. And I'm just realizing this. I was going to open my show at the Halifax Comedy Festival with a bit about people on their phones while they drive. You may have heard me do it. And I didn't do it. The opening bit, I didn't even, it's like that Muhammad Ali, I'm sorry, Mike Tyson quote. Everybody has a game plan in the ring until they get punched in the face. And I walked out and something must have happened and I never got to that. I don't even know what I did. I ended up doing 20 minutes. I was just all over the place. I was jazzy, having fun. That's what I do. That's what I do at the clubs. And guess what? It could have failed. And if I were to give you an honest assessment of how I did at the Halifax Comedy Festival, I would say it was a B+. I didn't knock it out of the park. But sometimes that's good enough. That's to be that loose and not be rigid. Like you watch my first, like my Tonight Show or Letterman, and it's just boom. You could see it in my face. I'm a comedian that's going from A to B to C to D to E to F and good night and get it all in. And that's not, for me, what I want to do at this point in my career. Did it. Now I'm going to allow myself to be jazzy. And if I fail, well, it won't feel good, but, you know, that's a risk. I'm taking more risks as a stand-up comedian. But it's a sad world. People with their outbursts, people attacking comedians, attacking what comedians say. Like, just let, comedians can be insensitive. In fact, being insensitive is funny. And being insensitive doesn't mean that's how you feel inside all the time. It's how your mind thinks it. Like, how many times during the day do you just have a rotten thought and think, wow, can't believe I thought that. And then you correct yourself. Well, if you're a comedian, you might say that because that rotten thought, because you know other people have that rotten thought. And even though they don't want to admit it, they suppress it and they don't share it with the world. The comedian is courageous enough to do it and say things. Say things that are important, that push issues forward. And I'm not talking about, there is some comedy that's just mean-spirited, and that's different. But it's important to push issues and boundaries and say things that are uncomfortable at times and take that risk. And yet we just want to cancel some people for this. We got another guy bombing the hell out of a country, killing people. He's fine. But one post on social media and will just ruin other people's careers. Do you understand the absurdity, the range of that absurdity? Look at the people that get away with stuff and the other people that don't. And that's scary too. But I think I'm at the point now where I'm going back to just not caring as much. And if it leads to whatever, it leads to whatever. Because honestly, the world's not that much fun anymore. Why can't humans come together and solve problems instead of making problems? Why can't we come together and find a cure for cancer instead of causing cancers? And I'm not saying cancers, you know what I'm saying, cancers on society. People that are hurtful, mean, don't help people. There's enough goddamn food in this world and resources that we could help everybody. You don't have to have everything. That phone is on silent, everybody. Just like you to know. I have it on absolute, and I'm going to put it on air. It is on airplane mode. So what is airplane mode if a call can still come in? Apple. What's wrong with iPhones? That should have gone straight to, I think I even have it on, do I got to put the focus do not disturb on too. Oh, my phone never rings, and I was just on a nice little tear. And I thought when I looked at this podcast, when I was at 12 minutes, I'm like, I might be done in 18. And now I'm at 25. And that's the point where my dad tells me I got to get off. No podcast should be longer than like 25 minutes. So let's talk about two things and let's get out of here, because I don't want this to be a downer, a lecture. Everything I'm saying, you already know. You know it. Okay? The world is in really bad divided place. And I'm not too sure why. Because when I travel the world, I'm telling you, I look in the faces of people wherever I am, and everybody looks the same to me. Everybody looks like they have the same problems. Everybody's worrying about, the health of some person, where the money's going to come from, how they're going to pay for this. Their heart is broken by somebody. I mean, we're just humans. We're the same. Read Shakespeare. Same stuff went on then that's going on now. So why are we allowing a few people to ruin this world? Because it is just a few. Like, even wherever you are on this Supreme Court leak on Roe v. Wade, I know where I stand. I know where I stand, and I don't get political. But wherever you stand, this is 5 people making a decision that's going to affect 80% or 70% of the world that doesn't agree with the decision they're making. So it's the minority people ruining the world. I was going to talk about my paper route, but who? Not after that. So let me just tell you quickly. I injured myself on the set of Teen Wolf doing a stunt. That's the level of badass I am. Okay. And I wouldn't even call it a stunt, but for legal reasons, I have to call it a stunt where I run up and down a sideline and I have to do a slide and scream. And as I did the slide, it was AstroTurf, which I didn't know meant, even though it looks like grass, it's not grass, which is a great metaphor for life, okay? Sometimes the grass looks like grass, but it isn't grass. And what it really is concrete with a little bit of fake grass, a half an inch of that, and when you slam your knee into it, that's it. So I slammed my knee into this. I heard a pop as I came up, instantly limping. Like a horse. You've seen this happen to horses before, and they take them out back and shoot them, which I wish they would just do to me and end this. And so immediately, I've got to tell you, the protocol for injuries on a set is pretty amazing. Medics come over, they wrap it, they ice it, they give you anti-inflammatories. Then another guy comes over from Paramount Safety, the studio. He takes pictures, fills out reports. I'm now on workman's comp. Can you believe it? Orny Adams, who's never worked a day in his life, never had a real job, I'm on workman's comp. So the injury, it does hurt. It still hurts. And what they did, and I would ice it, and I had to sort of, the Paramount person went onto the set. They reviewed, I think, the footage. They spoke to the director and people. Was he asked to do this? There should have been padding down. They took immediate responsibility. They set me up with doctors. I got an MRI. My doctor is the doctor for the LA Kings. That's our hockey team here. They won the Stanley Cup. So now I have to call this guy from Atlanta because he's here in Los Angeles, and I saw him yesterday. I've got to call this guy and explain to him. This guy is dealing with real injuries. Athletes, men being slammed up against boards, tripping on the ice, and then 3 people fall on them, a stick going into their knee, a skate going into their knee. And then I got to tell this guy, me, little princess over here, I fell on my knee. Guys, did anyone else fall on you? No, I just fell on my knee. Were you on top of a building and jump? No, I fell from where my knees would be, from off the ground, whatever that is, like 2.5 feet. And were you running full speed? No, it kind of stopped and then fell to my knees. And was it on pavement? No, it's AstroTurf. Yeah. I mean, I was embarrassed, but I got an MRI yesterday, Monday rather. Today's Wednesday. Went to the doctor yesterday at the facility. I actually snuck a picture of the Stanley Cup. I think it is. Maybe it's a replica. Who knows? At the airport in Canada, I snuck a picture of the Statue of Liberty coming back into the border, and turns out that was not the real Statue of Liberty. That was an imitation. And so here's the prognosis. I have a torn ACL, which is not great news, and I may need surgery. And I heard it even more when I was on stage in Halifax. I probably shouldn't say this. But by the way, they were so nice. I thought they must be expecting a lawsuit. I got so comfortable when I was doing my show in Halifax, and the camera was right in front of me. I thought it was a beautiful moment. I was telling a nice little story. I sat on the stage, Indian style, which was great until I tried to get up, and I almost couldn't get up. I'm like, oh my. So I started, and they thought I was kidding, like I was imitating an old person, because I was telling a joke about an old person I had met, and it just hurt. And then coming through the airport, they make you walk so far in the airport, like through these tunnels to get to immigration. You have to follow. The best part is you follow the American flag signs, which is fun. Feels good going back to America. Of course, you have to have a COVID test. Now, if I had a negative COVID test, am I not allowed back in my country? Like, that would be such a strange, strange feeling. So, anyway, yours truly is being treated by the LA Kings doctors and now physical therapy. I'll know in a month if I need surgery. I'm rubbing it right now. It feels like, when you have a tooth that is pre-cavity, let's call it pre-cavity, and you chew on it, it feels kind of good. I like that little level of pain. I like that. That's what this knee feels like. So I hope I don't need surgery. I really don't. But I am a badass. I do my own stunts. And I got injured. Let's talk about one more thing, and then let's get out of here. I've got to pack and get to Atlanta. Then I've got to come back on Mother's Day, and I've got to pack again for Cleveland. Back to selling T-shirts on the road. I hope you come see me at Hilarities. So, 90 Day Fiancé, there's a new season. I'm finding most of them uninteresting. I am also, they brought back this other couple from the past. I just fast forwarded through them. But here's what I want to talk about. And I don't know their names yet because it's early in the season. It's like I've seen 1 or 2, maybe 3 episodes. But this one guy, I think he brought a woman over from Egypt. And he's done very well in real estate. He wears really nice suits and watches, drives a nice car. And he never let her see where he lives. He always did a white wall, which is something I would do. Because he was afraid that she might be after his money. And there's ways to discover this probably without doing what he did. But he decided to bring her not to his home, but to his childhood home, which nobody's lived in for like 20 years. And it was dilapidated. The ceiling's peeling, all the paint is sealing. It looked really bad. Outdated microwave. It had an old tube television, tchotchkes. It was his old family home. It's nice, but that's not what he represented himself as to her, although he never said where he lived. And guess what? Completely backfired. She was horrified, which I can understand. She flew all this way. She thought she was dating someone who was successful. Now, whether she's in it for the money or not, this is what she expected. And it backfired. And he had to bring her to his real place the next day. It just looked like a chump. I mean, I understand on paper because it's a lot of people's fear that you're being used for your money or people think you have money, especially in these international. I've talked about this a million times. Internationally, a lot of the times men and women are being used for their money or for citizenship. There's a lot of that. But I think the whole thing was staged. Here's why I think this. You can't just go to your childhood home if nobody's been living in it and all of a sudden, where he had to go to work for a little bit. You tell me she's not going through the drawers going, where's all his socks? Where's his collection of shoes? Where are these suits? There's nothing here. He just you can't just all of a sudden make it look like you live in a place. She would probably ask questions like, where's this? And he wouldn't know. So the whole thing's garbage anyway. These reality shows, they're staged and they're garbage. Now, I understand what he was trying to do. I get the intention. The intention was, I want to know if she loves me for me or loves me for my money. Well, she probably loves you for you and because you have money. That's an attractive quality. That's security. And this isn't something you can do. Testing somebody like this, it sets a horrible precedent. Even she said, I don't know if I can trust him anymore. And I agree. I don't trust him. I don't trust the world. Orny, Adams. Orny Adams has a broken knee. Orny has a broken knee and is on workman's comp. I want to thank my guest, me. And I'm sorry that somebody called my phone and interrupted my incredible dissertation on the current world. I want to thank Ernesto Hurtado for mastering this podcast and getting it up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google. The audio's everywhere. Old episodes, meaning like if this is 52, like 42 is up on YouTube. And then the new stuff's on patreon.com/Orny. If you want to write me emails, the email is what'swrong@ornyadams.com. Do you get it? That's the name of the podcast. What's wrong at ornyadams.com. Couldn't, and correspond. I'd like to read some letters for episode 53, and hopefully I'll have my guests back. It's wonderful. I kept this podcast short, and I will update you when I get back. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it, and stay safe. And in the day when there is that one moment where you want to smile, do it, because that moment is going to change fast.